What do you want to talk about? Nothing to talk about with the final. That'll just be some questions that you work together on in groups. Know your initialization lists and constructors. There will definitely be some puzzlers that involve that. No. You'll be given a tarball. You'll open up you'll extract the tarball. It'll have a directory for each question. Some of them may be to talk about this or that or justify this or that, but there will be a lot of coding. It'll be, here are these classes. You can modify this. You can't modify that. Make it so that this pattern of output appears. And so you got to bang against it and get it to work. So there's definitely a lot of hands-on on it.
So how are we supposed to make it object-oriented for a project? Is it just basically trying to make the buffer file an object in this case, or is it?
Well, so I showed you the main program, and then there are two classes. There's the stream source class, which you will be calling get and put on. And stream source will manage where the next character is gotten from and where it puts the next character. I guess put is simpler than get. And then, as we looked at last time, there are a couple other functions that you call on that stream source in order to change its state. So stream source is one, and then buffered file is the other one. And I think that does it for classes. There's the deck class. But that's about it.
Wonderful how you have the stream source class, and inside of it you have the buffered file, and inside of the buffered file you have the FP, and then you also have the deck.
Right.
It's like Russian nesting dolls, higher levels of abstraction.
Yep, a lot of nesting in C++, no doubt about that. So I think you have all the classes. Let's see. So you have a constructor, a destructor. The destructor will have that truncate function in it. Your destructor of buffered file should have the truncate function. You have I called it, I don't know if it, let me see.
Yeah, the way I did it, I had the truncate function as a standalone function in buffered file, and then
So if you have this found partial match, then that means you read. Remember, we passed in this character here because this was the character that we just read in that is non-matching. Right, you're looking for ABC and you got ABX, so that'd be the X. CH, you read the X. And there's no match here, so you don't go into the if statement, and your match count is not equal to the string length, so you're going to call this function right here. You matched two of the three characters, and X was the character that you read in that was not part of the match. So what this found partial match has to do, among other things, is it has to give this to buffered file to put at the front of the deck. So if you were to crack open the source code to found partial match, there'd be it would be talking to its buffered file. Remember, buffered file, there's a buffered file object that's private data of the stream source. So it would tell its buffered file object, I called it do over, and all it does is it just pushes a character onto the front of the stack. I think so. The deck, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah. It's literally one line of code. Buffer.pushFront is what I have for that. We talked pretty extensively about put. That if the putter and getter are equal, you need to grab a character off the file and put it on the back of the deck before you write out to the file.
Well, put and get that we had now they belong to stream source now, right? We already had some of that logic, I thought.
In buffered file?
Yeah.
It's still in buffered file, so you still have the get and the put in buffered file. You have, and so you're just using the same function names, right? So you have a get and a put in the stream source, but the get, or let's start with put. The put in stream source is going to call the put in buffered file.
Which calls the put in the upstream.
Right. The get is in stream source is probably one of the most complex. And when I say most complex, I don't know, let's see how many lines I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 lines, and that includes 6 lines of curly braces. So there's, practically speaking, about 10 lines of code there. But get is complex in that it has to know whether to get the character from the search word, to get it from the replacement word, or to get it from the buffered file. Yeah.
I implemented the get function inside. It just has one big switch statement that does everything for you.
Has one big what?
Switch statement
Um,
in my implementation.
yeah. Depends how you implement it.
I pretty much wrote the whole code for the stream source class.
So looking at buffered file, what else do we have? We have the get, the put, that do-over function that pushes it onto the front of the deck. I have, in my buffered file, I have an EOF function. So recall when fstream triggers EOF, you need to clear that, but you can't lose sight of the fact that you did hit the end of the file. So in buffered file, you have like a Boolean for a flag for whether you've hit the EOF, and that switches to true once fstream hits EOF, and then once you learn that fstream has hit EOF, you immediately need to clear that flag so that you can continue to use fstream. And then, so buffered file has an EOF function, and what it's going to do is it needs to look at the deck. If there's anything in the deck, then buffered file is going to say false on hitting EOF. Otherwise, it's going to return the state of that flag.
Because our file is considered to be in the deck also.
Yeah, I mean, that's the joy of it, is that as a user of buffered file, you don't even know that the deck exists. You just ask if it's at end of file, and it will tell you. And if you have stuff in that deck, then you're definitely not at the end of the file.
And as a user of stream source, you might not even know that the buffered file exists, let alone the deck and the SU and the L with it.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we have buffered file covered. That leaves most of the work to be done in stream source. And I've covered all the interface functions for that in the main. So I haven't gotten down to brass tacks on what the private data of these things would be, because that to a large extent is going to depend on how you implement it. But you do have variables that are kind of keeping track of the state, how many characters you have remaining to print to get out of the search word right on a failed search. and where the next character is coming from.
So if I end up having a new line print out in the file for some reason, should I try to fix that, or is that not too much of a problem for testing? I don't know where it's coming from. It just seems that it has it in the file.
That you're putting a new line in there?
I don't think so. I think it's saying it needs a new line or something like that to test when I
I don't know. I'd have to see the situation. The only thing I would caution is definitely use if you're do not create your own test files if you're trying to compare against my tests, because what people invariably do is they open up a text editor, they go ... abc ... and when they write that out, they write out a new line, and my tests do not have a new line, and so that'll have you dancing around and being frustrated for quite a while.
Yeah.
I found a solution to that. I don't use a text editor. I just do cat into the file. I don't provide any arguments to cat, so it reads from the standard input. So type it, and then hit Control D for the end of file. That generates.
Yeah, you can do that, or from the shell. It's printf is actually really nice from the shell. Printf won't do a new line unless you put it in. So there's only 4 characters. You'd have to, which I mentally have to remind myself because I cut my teeth on Echo, and Echo does put in a new line. Yeah, so Echo dash N will do it.
You have to do that when you're decoding base 64. Otherwise, it gives you the wrong, or encoding base 64. Otherwise, it gives you the wrong
Right.
code.
Base 64 or base 16?
Either any base that you're encoding. If you don't get rid of the line, it creates the wrong hash, or any hash.
There were times when I have dual boot. Like times I edited a file on Windows or Linux, I can't remember, but I opened it and it has all the weird characters at the end.
So any other questions? So let me mention one more thing regarding logistics of the course is that there will not be class on Friday. However, I'm happy to meet. I'd prefer to meet like at a coffee shop or something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Thursday night or early Friday morning. Maybe I'll try to do it Thursday night. I'll post something to Piazza saying, let me know if you're interested in meeting, and then we'll pick some location. And if there's a bunch of us, that's why we just take over a table or two at a coffee shop. Yeah, so that's that.
Can you expect any more grades anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Consider yourself lucky you're not in 515. You think the grading's bad in here. No, I don't think so. Being realistic, I'm just so slammed. And the grading's pretty straightforward in this course. So do I have what I should do? What I should actually try to do though is I only got halfway through. Which one? what did we have? Exception I only got halfway through grading the exception handling project. Was your exception handling graded? All right, there's some who didn't get that graded, so I should at least finish those. I don't know, I might try to sit down and bust out a few more, but I don't think I'm going to have significant grading done in the next few days. So I apologize for that.
What about the stamping press project?
Yeah, same thing. There aren't that many people. Doesn't take me too terribly long. I'll be perfectly honest. The compiler's class has just eaten up all my time.